Look, I'm going to just cut to the chase. I had a student that called me just recently, and the student called me and said he had one of those days. And immediately when I hear stuff like this, I say, okay, what's going on? And he says, I went 0 for 5. And I said, okay, because that's part of baseball. You're going to go 0 for 5. You're going to go through stretches where you're not going to get hits. It's part of the game. It's been going on forever. This game expects you to fail. So I said, okay. So did you hit the ball hard? He said he hit the ball hard 4 out of 5 times. And I said, you had a great game then. And the reason why I bring that story up is because a lot of you need to hear this. A lot of you guys are focusing on the results. This is the difference from pro players and young players. Young players are only focusing on the results. You guys are saying to yourself, I have to get hits. I have to hit doubles. I have to hit home runs. And getting results, it matters. That's the whole point of baseball. But it's not how you go about the game. When you go about it this way, you put too much pressure on yourself. You hold yourself to an expectation that you can't control. And that's when you get unhappy, you get frustrated, you don't want to practice, you don't want to put in the work because you're setting an expectation for yourself that you really can't succeed. But the way that you should be going about the game is the process. And what is the process? Well, you should be focusing on the things you can control. And what I mean is if your goal is to hit high average, if you're hitting hard balls, hard line drives, in the long run, you're going to have a high average. So instead of thinking about hitting or thinking about baseball, saying, I need results, you're thinking about it as I need to hit line drives. I need to hit the ball hard. And you see how you change that story in your head. And that's the difference between pro players and young players. And when you think of it this way, it takes all the pressure off your shoulders and you're allowed to go out there and have fun and play the game because you're not putting these high expectations on yourself to succeed. And so back to the story, I say, okay, you hit the ball hard 4 out of 5 times. You won. You did your job. And he's like, I know, but I didn't get any hits. And I'm like, well, you can't control that. And that's the message that I want to get across to you. When it comes to results, you cannot control that, but you can control the process. You can control hitting the ball hard. You can control getting the pitcher to throw inside the zone. You can control all that, but you can't control what happens after you put the bat on the ball, and if you do go 0 for 5 or 0 for 10, it's part of the game. You know how many times I've went 0 for 5, 0 for 7, 0 for 10, 0 for 15, and you know how I cope with it? Instead of thinking about the results, I think about what am I doing good in those situations, because that's what you can control. You can only control what you're doing. You can't control the result. And that's the difference right there. So if you're going 0 for 4, if you're going 0 for 5, are you hitting the ball hard? Because if you're hitting the ball hard, you're winning. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. And if you're hitting bloopers and you're getting base hits, you're not hitting the ball hard, that's luck. And we don't practice in the cage to get lucky. Now if it does happen to you because you're putting a good swing path on the ball, then that's great. When you got to swing like Mike Trout or Mookie Betts, these guys can swing and they don't have to hit right on the barrel to get hits because their swing path is good. So they're blooping balls in for base hits. Now, what happens when these guys get out, which they do get out? What are they thinking then? They're thinking about the process. They're thinking about the things they can control. Again, hitting the ball hard, controlling the strike zone. Eventually, if you do this over a long period of time, you are going to get results. So if you're a young player out there and you're going 0 for 4, 0 for 5, but you're hitting the ball hard, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Exactly what you need to be doing. Hold your head high, because your job isn't to, your job is to get hits, and that's part of the game. But the way that you get those hits is by the process. So your job is to first hit the ball hard or get a pitch you can hit. You don't do math by doing 2. If the formula was 1 + 1 = 2, you just don't jump to the 2. In your head, you do it 1 + 1 = 2. It's a process. 1 + 1 = 2. You've been doing this since you were, a very, very young kid. It's the same with baseball. Go up there, get a pitch to hit it hard. Now, if you do get a hit, you say, you be thankful for it, because every hit is earned. Now, if you don't get a hit, but you hit the ball hard, you did exactly what you needed to do. And that's the difference here. That's what pro players are thinking. That's what's going through their head, is how do I continue to do the process? If I do this process over a long period of time, I'm going to have success. So you got to look at this as a big picture, not the small picture. You go 0 for 5 one game, it happens. It's part of it. Now, next game, if you hit the ball hard those 4 out of 5 times and you didn't get any hits, let's continue that. I guarantee you next game, you're going to get hits if you do that same thing. It's just how it works. So a lot of you guys need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and you guys are thinking of it as like a pro. You say you have to get hits. Now, at the pro level, you know, there's some times where you're like, man, I have to, you know, I'm gonna just be real with you. There's some times when you're at the pro levels, like I need to start hitting, or, you know, they could release me. But at your guys' level, man, you guys shouldn't even be thinking about the results. You should be thinking about the process, because you guys are so far away from that. And if you look at the best hitters, even at your age, they're not worried about results. They're worried about the process. It's just that simple. So I just want to jump on here, talk to you guys about that, and be honest with you guys, because I just had that phone call, and I think it would help a lot of players if you guys, you know, go through this strategy. Start thinking this way. Change that story in your head. Don't try to compare yourself to anybody else. Focus on what you can control. You can only control your bats. You can't control somebody else's at bats. You can't control, you know, getting hits or not, but you can control hitting the line drive. You can control hitting the ball hard. You can control the strike zone. That's all you. And if you do that, you are going to be successful. I guarantee it. And if you're a player that wants to know more about the process, I'm going to give you the hitter's log right here. This right here helped me to be the player I am today. What you're going to do is jot down your thoughts, your bats, your approach, the pitches you see, and you're going to log it in. And plus, inside here, I already have the process designed for you, and I had the video training that walks you through what the process is. So if you're that type of player that wants to get to your dreams of playing in college or play professionally, I highly recommend you get this, and I'll give it to you for free. All you have to do is pay the shipping. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're interested, link will be in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep pushing forward, keep your head up, and stay with the process. Everything you want is just, you know, a little bit away from you. I was in your shoes, and I know how it is. Keep hunting fastballs, keep believing in yourself, and again, keep your head high. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you.